Hey everyone, Captain Foley here. Welcome back. It is time for an Orville spoiler-free review. Now, the reason Samuel and myself are doing these separately this time is because tomorrow I have an appointment in the morning and I'm not going to be able to film until the afternoon. So I'm recording this now in the evening. My thoughts on it. Samuel's going to do his spoiler-free review in the morning when he checks it out, and then in the afternoon when I get back, we're going to film our full spoiler-filled review for you guys to enjoy later in the afternoon. But today, here we are right now, and this is the spoiler-free review by Captain Foley for episode 2 of Orville called Command Performance. Now, I know before I even got on the PVR to check it out, I was reading a lot of stuff on Facebook about how it was delayed because of the football game, and I feel so badly for you guys that watch it on Fox. We do have Fox here in Canada, but I record the show on City TV, and it was on time, so I mean, I'm sorry. But apparently next week it's actually moving from the Sunday night time slot it's going to be on Thursday at 9. So I don't know if that's changed for you guys over in on Fox, but that could be good. So you're not, waiting and have it pushed back because of football or whatever. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is when a show, you have to wait for your show to come on because sports are on and you're not a sports fan. It's kind of annoying, and it kind of sucks. So hopefully you guys, they're changing it to a different night so you guys can actually enjoy it. Now just one thing I want to point out too is in the first episode, you see the right flyer on Ed Mercer's desk, and the ship is called the Orville. So obviously it was named after Orville Wright. But that got me thinking, and earlier today, before even watching the episode today, I said to Sylvia, I said, you realize with 3,000 ships, that means that one of their ships is likely named Wilbur, named after the other Wright brother. I wouldn't want to be in command of the USS Wilbur, or the ECS, or whatever it is. Anyway, just a small little thing. I gotta say, the ship shots in this episode, first of all, the episode overall was fantastic. Had very much a TNG vibe to it. A lot of the humor was very subdued. It wasn't the same kind of goofy Family Guy humor that was in the first episode. This is more of a subdued humor, which was nice, and I think a lot of people are really going to appreciate that, because that was one of the biggest pet peeves that few people had. I'm sure we're going to have very silly, dirty episodes as well, dirty jokes, funny, that kind of Family Guy humor. I'm sure we're going to have those as well. This wasn't one of those outings. This could have been a TNG episode through and through. There were a few odd jokes in there, but nothing, slapstick or funny or what you'd come to expect from Seth MacFarlane. There's much more subdued kind of humor. So overall, I think that's what the show is going to be all about. Some episodes are going to be more dramatic, others are going to be more humorous, and it's going to be a nice mixture of both. And that's what I said all along, even with the first episode. I really enjoyed it because I do enjoy Seth MacFarlane's humor. I know not a lot of people agree with me on that, but I really enjoyed the episode. So overall, fantastic episode. Great job. The ship shots, the CGI in this episode is absolutely stunning. Way better than the first episode, in my opinion. In the first episode, it was more overlit. The CGI seemed a little more fake. This one, there was very realistic lighting, some great beauty shots of the ship flying by, and definitely brings you an appreciation for the work that those people do on the show, because it's a fantastic job, and I want to see more stuff like this. The opening, they have a new regular opening. Last time it just said the Orville, because it was the first episode. This time they've got space scenes with the ship flying around through astronomical phenomenon, and some really cool stuff, some really great scenes, and the people's names. It's very reminiscent of a Voyager opening, in my opinion. And again, beautifully done. I'm looking forward to seeing that every week. Some great stuff that they've done for the opening. So again, amazing job. Now there was a few new ships introduced in this episode, which is nice. Like I said, spoiler free review, so I'm not going to tell you anything else. But lots to look forward to. This episode was actually directed by Robert Duncan McNeil. Robert Duncan McNeil. There we go. Who you guys probably know from Voyager as Tom Paris. So somebody that's been on Star Trek, directed some Star Trek episodes, and has a real feel for the genre, the sci-fi genre. And I think he did a fantastic job. Again, like I said, it had a very TNG or Voyager kind of vibe to the episode. I don't know if they're going to change the opening for every episode. That'd be kind of neat. I don't think they will. I think just budget, it'd be better to just maintain the same opening for every episode. But I'm sure each season might be a little different. I mean, TNG and Deep Space Nine, they had a few changes to the opening over the course of the seasons. Nothing too dramatic, but I'm wondering if that's going to be the same thing here. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place there. I didn't mean to. I just started talking about Voyager, and it kind of got me thinking. So, anyway, we see some familiar technology, which kind of ties in with Star Trek. There's a few modern day sci-fi references as well. Not only sci-fi, but just general entertainment references. And like I said, we'll talk about those more in the full spoiler-filled review that Sam and I will do tomorrow. And there's a little bit of a twist at the end, which is nice. And it's got an interesting B story. It's not too involved. There's not too much to it, but it's interesting to say the least. And I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes, because it's one of those things that's definitely going to carry over and be an important part of the show, I think. So, anyway, overall, fantastic job. The guys that are working on Orville, keep up the good work. I know a few people that work behind the scenes. I don't talk to them on a regular basis, but I know some of them that do work on it, and I gotta give you guys a kudos. I mean, it's fantastic. There's a few set pieces that are a little different, especially in Ed Mercer's office for this episode. Two things that stood out to me specifically, which you can probably look for. We had mentioned in our spoiler-filled episode, Samuel noticed a little Kermit figure on his desk. This time it's still Kermit the Frog, and it's actually referenced to in the show, but it's a large kind of plush Kermit the Frog, and not the little figurine that he had in the last episode. And also behind him on the bookcase, there's a physical model of the Orville, which I thought was a nice touch. So, yeah, I mean, overall, I'm just super impressed. I just don't know what to say. I mean, I'm so happy that this show's out there. Seth MacFarlane is an amazingly talented guy, and I think his love of the genre really shines through in this show. This episode was written by him, and like I said, directed by Robert Duncan McNeil, or Tom Paris. So I think a lot of people give Seth MacFarlane kind of crap for his writing. They don't appreciate his sense of humor, like I said, or his acting chops. A lot of people gave A Million Ways to Die in the West a lot of static. I really enjoyed it personally. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what else comes about, and I know that there are other talented directors and I think Star Trek alumni that are taking part in Orville, and I'm very happy about that. This show has a lot of potential, and I think if you can get past some of the humor, if you're not a fan of Seth MacFarlane's humor, but you're still a fan of sci-fi, I think you can definitely enjoy this show. There's more to look forward to. There's going to be a lot more interesting stuff coming down the pipe with it, and it's just something that we as sci-fi fans, I think, will really appreciate. If you're a huge Family Guy fan but not really sci-fi, I don't know if this particular shoe fits for you guys. But as far as sci-fi fans go, you need to check this show out. Even if you're not a fan of his humor, please don't let that dissuade you from watching this show. It's few and far between in most instances, especially this episode. Like I said, there was hardly any of that kind of off-putting humor, I guess, in this one. So I would definitely suggest that you guys check that out. And we got to make this show popular. It has to continue. It has to do a few good seasons. A 7-season run would be fantastic. I'd love to see the evolution from season 1 to season 7, because we know that Star Trek, TNG in particular, the first season is kind of cringeworthy when you go back and watch it, and with TNG and Deep Space Nine, they didn't really hit their stride and find their footing until like the 3rd season. I don't know if this is this kind of show that would have that problem, but I'm thinking it probably would be. I mean, I'd like to see this go 7 seasons, then go back and watch these first episodes again and go and just see the little subtle changes that occur. Whether that's going to be the case, I don't know. But no matter what, the episodes that we do have of Orville that are filmed and ready to go, and that we've actually seen already, and that will be available to us to view for the rest of our lives, are well worth it if it does get canceled. I don't think it will by any means. I certainly hope not. I know they've already shuffled the time slot. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I know getting set back because of football is really shitty, and I think that's maybe why they did it, because it was a bad time slot. If you're tuning in to watch it, and it's always going to be 20 minutes, 30 minutes late because of a football game. So hopefully the new positioning on TV will be helpful for that. I don't know if you guys on Fox have that, if they've done that, but I know that on City TV here in Canada, it's going to be airing Thursdays at 9 o'clock now, instead of Sunday night. So who knows? I mean, after the first 2 episodes, they were already shifting the time slot. I don't know what that says, if that speaks to good or bad. I know with Star Trek, it kind of killed Star Trek, the original series, when they moved it into the Friday night time slot. And they kind of do that to shows they want to die. They move them into unpopular time slots. So I don't think that's the case here. I think it's actually beneficial for them to do this, so it doesn't get, held up by football. I think that's maybe why they did it. I hope so, because I think Fox put a lot of time and effort into this and a lot of money, and I think they want to give it the best start that they can. So anyway, guys, that's my review, my spoiler-free review. If you want to check out the spoiler-filled review, check it with us later today. Samuel and myself will record that. Samuel's also doing his first thoughts and spoiler-free review in the morning, so it should be up on the channel soon if it's not already, and I encourage you guys to check that out as well. So until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley, and this has been an Orville spoiler-free review for episode 2, Command Performance, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.